Welcome back to the channel. And I seen this headline, instantly got annoyed because it's like Deviation Games was destroyed by Sony. Nobody covered it. Sony covered it up, and then they just rebuilt Deviation Games inside of PlayStation Studios. And now they're going public. It's like this has been the weirdest story. I've been covering this shit for at least, I don't even know, like 2 years now. I think it's been 2 years now, maybe 3 years. I got videos on my channel about this. But Deviation Games was formed of old Call of Duty veterans. They had two leads that left Activision. They created Deviation Games. The first place they went is to Sony Interactive Entertainment. They partner with them. They're gonna make them a brand new shooter. Deviation was gonna make Sony a brand new shooter. And then a year later, 1 year later, they just went dark. Gone. They didn't exist no more. Where the fuck is Deviation Games? What happened to their shooter? Their groundbreaking first-person shooter they're making for Sony. Nothing. Another year goes by. Or maybe it was 6 months. If I'm keeping, like, if I'm recollecting this shit correctly, Jason Blundell, one of the two co-founders, the other one was, what was the other co-founder name? Damn, I forget his name now because he's probably gone. But Jason Blundell left his own fucking studio, Deviation Games. He left the studio he co-founded with his bro. And where did he end up? Working at PlayStation, at Sony Interactive Entertainment. They lost developers. Deviation started bleeding developers. And all those developers ended up working at Sony Interactive Entertainment, at PlayStation. So Deviation Games was bleeding developers to Sony. They lost a co-founder to Sony. And so it left his bro, his other co-founder, and a couple developers left at Deviation. And then Deviation Games shut down. And all those people that left and went to Sony, while they were working on a Sony game for Deviation, created a new studio. Now that new studio is called Dark Outlaws. What the fuck is actually going on at PlayStation, bro? Why the fuck did Jason Blundell leave his own studio where he was independent to go work for another corporate entity like PlayStation? And it got me thinking, bro. Like, did the other co-founder not want to fold to Sony ass, and that's why him and the developers ran and went to PlayStation? Because PlayStation probably was like, okay, we want control of the IP. We want to buy the studio to make it our first party. And the other co-founder were probably like, fuck no, we just left Activision. We're not doing it. And Jason Blundell was like, okay, I'll fold to Sony. And that's what he did. Half the fucking studio did that too. They're like, oh, fuck it, job security over independence. They take it. And now they're over here like, oh, we're so honored and we're so lucky to be with PlayStation. That's what he's saying in a fucking interview now. And it's like, you started a whole studio. You co-founded a whole studio and you threw that shit away just to be another corporate dog for Sony, bro. What happened to Deviation Games? They haven't talked about it. Even now that he's in the light as a head of a new PlayStation studio, he got his Deviation people behind him. Well, half of them anyway. You still haven't said what happened to your studio you created. This has been one of the weirdest things that ever happened in gaming, and I swear this news has been swept under the rug for the past 3 years. I feel like I'm the only nigga covering this shit, and it's so weird because it's like, imagine Housemarque. Sony introduces Housemarque. Housemarque shows you Returnal, because you know Sony didn't help make Returnal. Housemarque already had Returnal to show. Sony buys Returnal, they launch the game, and then all of a sudden Housemarque just goes out of fucking business. But then all of a sudden, everybody that worked at Housemarque gets paid by Sony to create a new studio inside Sony. That's exactly what happened to Deviation Games. That's exactly what happened to Deviation Games. But we never even seen what the fuck Deviation was working on. They went dark instantly. Right after announcing themselves. Right after proclaiming that, hey, we're out of this Activision shit. We're going to make something new and exciting. They went dark after that. That's some strange ass shit. I don't know what really happened. Nobody knows what really happened except the other co-founder of Deviation Games. And what I'm thinking is he didn't want to sell to Sony, bro. So Jason Blundell ass sold the fuck out and ran over there to PlayStation because they already had a job for him. That's so crazy. You left your own studio you co-founded, and you already had a job at Sony Interactive Entertainment, and you already offered your people jobs too. That is what's so strange about this, bro. That means Sony really destroyed Deviation Games, and this is confirmation because now he's so lucky and so humble that he's working for PlayStation. Get the fuck out of here, bro. But I'm gonna end this right here. So make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.